This YCN segment is brought to you by H.R. Clough and Kearsarge Heating, your local energy specialist.
Welcome back, YCN Sports Talk. Jeremy Stout, Andrew Zerhide, and Andrew, we talked some Red Sox in the first segment. Now let's get into the rest of Major League Baseball and pretty much the hot topic. Manny Machado, Bryce Harper, and to a lesser extent, Craig Kimbrel. But those two guys, the big guys, they have not signed yet. Right. I know a lot of people were surprised. We saw this last year with J.D. Martinez, took a while. So first, your initial reaction, when do they sign? And do you have any idea? I mean, what's your guess on where they go?
Yeah, I think spring training is going to start. I think we're going to even a couple weeks into it. I think that's going to be the new norm for really these superstars. I really expect Manny Machado. I think he's going to go to the White Sox.
Okay.
And I think the White Sox are really maybe right there with the Phillies. I think Bryce Harper will probably go to the Phillies.
Yep.
Then if the Phillies sign Bryce Harper, I don't know if they'll have room for Machado as well. Maybe they have the money to do that. That would be a huge splash for them. But I do think that Machado goes to the White Sox. And really, I think Chicago, they kind of know they're the number one team right now making an offer. And like I said, I think Harper's going to the Phillies. So the Phillies won't be able to match the White Sox offer to Machado. And just the White Sox, they have a ton of space right now. They don't really have many superstars. Jose Abreu is one guy, but they have the money to spend. And once Machado goes there, I think that's going to be a big power shift in the AL Central. The White Sox might be a contender. But yeah, I mean, this is kind of the new. I think this might be the new norm for these superstars.
And it seems like, I know a lot of people say it's not good for baseball, and I understand there's some problems, but maybe it's not really the worst thing in the world. I think it's just new, so everyone thinks it's bad, but turned out fine for J.D. Martinez. He got the money he wanted. Yeah, it wasn't the greatest deal he wanted, but he got some good money. Turned out well for the Red Sox. They won the World Series. They had him.
Yeah.
And so I think it'll work out. I mean, I'm not going to sit here and say that these guys don't need to be in spring training, but they are doing training on their own. They're in shape. I mean, if you say Bryce Harper and Manny Machado aren't disciplined enough to stay in shape, you're crazy. They're going to be fine.
Yeah.
I agree with you. I think Machado goes to the White Sox and Harper goes to the Phillies. And I also think because they do sign Harper, they're going all in. Yeah. And they do sign Craig Kimbrel as well, like you mentioned.
Right.
But there's still a chance Red Sox maybe get him on a one-year deal. Where do you see him going?
Yeah, I think Kimbrel's either going to the Phillies or Red Sox. And if the Phillies sign one of those other two superstars, I don't know financially if they're going to want to make a commitment to a ninth-inning closer.
Right.
You kind of need that closer to really solidify a good team, but I just don't know. And even the Phillies, they could get both Harper and Machado, as I was saying. So if they do that, I don't know if Kimbrel would also be would be available for them.
Right.
But the Red Sox, really, that's the only other option. And, I mean, Kimbrel just won a World Series with them. I just don't think Boston, they're not going to give him a multi-year deal. That's not really in their window of winning right now. But if Kimbrel wants to come back for 1 year, $20 million, get another shot at a title, that's pretty attractive, right?
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, I know a lot of people throwing around the 6 years he wanted and a lot of money, and I understand that's not worth it. But you know what? I would almost rather just say 1 year and throw a lot of money at him, because then in 1 year you're out of that contract, because you know the end date is this. We know what we're going to get out of him.
Yep.
We know what we're planning down the road, because Sale's going to be a free agent, Porcello, Bogarts, Mookie Betts is going to be a free agent in a couple of years. We'll talk about him shortly.
Yeah.
But at least you kind of have the parameters set and say, we'll take him on, but this is the deal. And then you also wonder if you would say to him, you might not always pitch the ninth inning. You might pitch the seventh inning against the 3, 4, and 5 hitters, the highest leverage. Do you think that's anything that they might say? Obviously, he doesn't want that because he doesn't get the saves.
Yeah.
But if he's looking for a contract, maybe that's what he has to agree to.
Right, yeah, I think Kimbrel, he likes that ninth inning. He wants the saves, but really I think he likes just the 1 inning. He likes just the 3 outs. He likes being able to give it all he has just for 3 outs. Playing in the 7th inning, that's probably not attractive to him. He wants to be that guy. But another thing with Kimbrel that could be attractive with signing that 1 year deal, he kind of had an off season last year. His ERA was kind of around 2.5. He still had the strikeouts, but his command was not there.
And the playoffs.
And in the playoffs, he struggled absolutely. So Kimbrel, if he wants that 6 year, $100 million contract, maybe he comes back with the Red Sox, has another dominant season, maybe he wins another championship, and then his value is that much higher. But Kimbrel, maybe he feels his command is going, his velocity might be going down, and maybe he feels his career is going down.
He wants to lock up.
So he feels like his value right now might be at its peak. But, I really feel like he kind of had an off season. He could get that value back up. 1 year, $20 million, like I said, has another shot at the title. That seems pretty good, but maybe he's not really feeling bossy. Maybe he doesn't like the situation.
Yeah, you never know. A lot can go into it. One guy who is going to be a free agent in a couple years, settled for arbitration this year, Mookie Betts. Can the Red Sox get him? Is he their number one priority among all the guys in 2 years?
Absolutely. Mookie Betts, he's just a class act on and off the field. He's not a guy who's going to be reckless and get injured doing something stupid off the field. He just had, I think, a daughter, right? He just had a child. So he has his life in order off the field, and he's just a class act. And really, he's the best player in baseball, right up there with Mike Trout.
Yeah.
So why wouldn't you want him? Gold Glover and right field as well.
Perfect.
MVP candidate.
Speed,
just
power.
Everything, yeah. And he can really be a leader on the team in a couple of years. They should absolutely sign him. And I think he's going to be the first $40 million a year player. They're going to have to break the bank. But it's going to be worth it. It's going to be worth it.
Exactly. They got to clear salary cap space because that's what they're going to need in a couple of years. So we got a lot of Red Sox talk over the next 6 weeks before the season starts. We'll take a break and come back, talk some Celtics. You're watching YCN Sports Talk.